Hello, Miss Scrubs. Today I'm gonna be, talking about something I've been having on my chest for the last few weeks. I just want to get it off my chest. This is meant to be a serious video. I mostly just try to make videos for you guys to entertain you guys, or make you guys laugh and all that. But I'm not trying to be an edgy teen or one of those freaking YouTubers who make stupid apology videos. And this is not an apology video, so don't take that out of context. I'm not like one of those stupid YouTubers who start drama for nothing. But anyway, this is about just stuff that's been happening in my freaking school lately. So, and probably why to the solution why I haven't been uploading lately. Yeah, I did upload yesterday, but I'm gonna tell you guys why I don't really upload like I used to. Like back when I used to make those crappy little Roblox videos. Yeah, you guys remember the bad quality ones that I used to do? Yeah. But anyway, guys, of all seriousness, I'm gonna talk about some personal stuff with freaking stupid school and all that that's been going on. So without further ado, guys, let's just get right into it. If you don't like what I have to say and you don't agree with me, nobody invites you to watch this, so don't go in the comment section just starting drama for nothing, because it's not going to help you in the future. So anyway, enough of me talking, and let's just get this over with. So it started about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I suppose. It was a Monday. I had to go back to school. I just walked into school too. I just barely walked into my first class. And then the guy that was writing down on a board, I'm not gonna say his real name, so we're just gonna call him Guy. So a guy was writing on a board, and the thing is that, alright then, he's writing some stuff for us to do on the board, so I better take my seat. So I did take my seat. I had to grab my chair and take my seat, so I did. And he wrote down computer work right on the board. And I'm thinking, well, I should already get to work considering I had everything else done. So I did. I did everything else. So I thought, okay, I need to do some computer work. So I did it. Then I guess the computer wasn't charged, so I had to find it. I didn't find a charger. I didn't look for a charger because it makes an annoying sound that those laptops makes when they're not charged. So it made a real loud sound, like that everybody can hear in a classroom. The guy said, "Why is the computer on?" And I told him, "Well, it's because I seen computer work on a board, and I'm thinking that I'm supposed to do computer work." I didn't say it in a mean way. I didn't say it in a sarcastic way. But he started freaking yelling at me, telling me blah 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 blah. He asked me, "Is everything else done?" I said yes. I even showed him most of my work that I did. And then he said my science teacher, I'm just going to call them science teacher, said I was missing work. Why is he talking to my science teacher about my missing work? Why doesn't he tell me face to face or anything like that? Like, my science teacher could have simply said that, "Oh, I'm missing homework," or whatever. Then I could have got it done and then turned it in. You know what he does instead? He just tells my first class teacher to say that I don't got any work done. So he started saying, go down to your science teacher's class. And keep in mind that people's electives were in the morning and the afternoon. And this happened during the morning when I barely just got to school. So I was like, okay. And in my mind, I was like, okay, dude, you don't have to give me any crap. I just barely got here. I mean, give me a freaking break. I didn't say that, but I felt like saying that so bad. He told me to go down to my science teacher's class, and I didn't want to interrupt this class either. I didn't want to go in there and say, hey, I'm missing homework or whatever. Give me it. Yeah. I didn't want to do that. He kept yelling at me, "Oh, go down there, blah 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 blah." And then you know what? He just freaking said, "Okay, go down to the freaking office." And I'm like, dude, I just barely got here. And I asked the guy, "What the frick did I do?" I didn't say what the frick, but I just asked him, "What did I do?" And then he's all like, "Oh, blah 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 blah. Well, you didn't follow directions. And I'm like, well, what directions? Like, what directions was he telling me to follow? I didn't want to go interrupt his class. Why couldn't he go get it by himself? There wasn't other teachers in there, but he could have got it right when he told him before the school even started that he could have got the work and not made me go down there, because the science teacher told him that my work was missing. He could have simply got the work and then gave it to me, and would have ended right there. And so I had to go down to the freaking office and all that. School called my parents. I was just like freaking just so nervous. And then when he was done yelling at me, I just left the classroom. Well, I didn't like leave the classroom because the teacher told me to go down to the classroom. Now here's the part where it gets interesting. He told me that he told my parents and he told the school that I ditched class, and I didn't. There was another kid with me. He went to go get computers for other kids because there was only like one computer in there, and that was the one I got in trouble with for using for some reason. So I had to go down to the office, and then he said that I skipped class, I ditched class or whatnot, and I did not. The teacher literally said for me, loud and clear, go to the office. Everybody could hear it. Even some kids heard it. And they're like, already? And then I don't get how he couldn't even hear it. I mean, he must have hearing problems. I don't freaking know. But the last time I checked, he could hear everything in an entire classroom. If he can yell at like half of the kids in the classroom for talking, then why didn't he hear me for saying some other teacher telling me that I needed to go to the office? And then he turned around and said that I ditched class, which is complete bullcrap. I never ditched class. I'm not stupid, and I never would ditch class. I wouldn't even dream of it. Because, first of all, I can get in trouble for it, and yeah, and I don't ditch class, so that guy was lying. And, you know, it was just stupid, and my parents had to deal with all this bull crap. And then he said, I didn't yell at him. There was other quote-unquote paraprofessionals in there. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure he meant by educators that are also professionals. But I am sure that there was none. I'm being honest, there was none. There was only one freaking kid in there, and that kid turned around and lied about me. And keep in mind, that kid doesn't even freaking like me. And so, I don't get it. Like, they got a kid involved. Like, you're gonna really take a kid's perspective? His opinion is not relevant to the thing we're talking about. And I'm not trying to be like Reskin by saying the term relevant or irrelevant, but really, his opinion doesn't really matter because he's a child. He could be lying to your face for all you can know. So why would you take a child's opinion? For anything, he could be lying about me to get me in more trouble. And he said, no, he's a liar. Nobody yelled at him. And that kid's a freaking rat. Like, he's just a two-face. Like, actually, I feel bad for the kid because he always used to get bullied by other kids and all that, and I just felt bad for the kid. So I thought, well, okay then, I guess I'll be your friend. Well, I didn't really befriend him, but I did became his friend and not like a huge butthole to him. And then he turned out not to like me for whatever reason. So I basically stayed away from him for a while because it seems that he was like getting more of a butthole like through the past weeks. He even like told one of my other friends that I sat with at lunch for no apparent reason at all. And it was just, I was like, okay, dude, you know what? What I'm not gonna hang around him for a while, so I didn't. So I guess he turned out not to like me either, because the week before that, he was a huge butthole to me too. Like, alright, so in history class, we're supposed to be binder collectors, where we had to get everybody's history binders and put them in the shelf. So I got the honors of doing that. So I had to collect everybody's binders, and when I asked him, "Do you want me to collect your binder?" and I asked them that because he's always taking forever. Like, he always forgets to put something in his binder. That's why I asked him that, so I wouldn't have to waste my time, or I didn't have to waste his. So I asked him that because he always takes forever. Like, he always tells me, wait, I forgot to put something. He digs in his pack for something, then puts it in there, and mind you that it takes like, I don't know how long. It takes him like a whole minute to find it, or even longer. I don't know. So I asked him that, and then he's like, "What do you think?" Like a freaking character out of Pokemon saying, "Do you want a Pokemon battle?" Yeah, what do you think? He just like said it very rudely. So I was like, "Well, I'm thinking it's because you take a very freaking long time to put your binder away." So I got his binder or whatnot, put it in there, and he's like, "Oh, it's because it's your job." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's your job to tell me if I should collect my binder or not." And mind you not, that he always falls asleep in class and he's telling me how to do a job. I mean, come on. Why would you take advice from that kind of kid? So, it was just stupid. So, I just went to my friends, talking with them in the hallways, and mind you that we were going to our next class. And the kid was just annoying after that, and I didn't really pay attention to him anymore. And I didn't treat him like bullcrap, but I I I wasn't really trying to hang around with him anymore. So I guess one day, as I went into that class, he literally just been a two-face and just lie about me. And he called me a liar, even though that quote unquote paraprofessional was yelling at me. And you know what? When my parents had a meeting with the teachers and principal and everything, the principal, two of the principals that are both wife and husband, I think that's kind of weird because, like, both wife and husband, they were both backing up each other. And why wouldn't they be backing up each other? It's because they're wife and husband. Of course they're going to back up each other. And they're always going to defend their workers and everything. So they were real snobby to my parents and everything. And it was just stupid because they were all believing that teacher that yelled at me. So keep in mind that that was pretty stupid of them. Pretty dang snobby. And yeah, and also, now let's just talk about that. Like, that ended because they had to go way before school started. So after that, I went into class and everything, and that's when that kid said that another freaking rude comment to me, and I was like, okay, whatever then. So now let's talk about before that. So it was barely the beginning of the school year, and it was like my second or third day of school, and this one kid, we're gonna call him Nico Bellic because his freaking hairdo, it looked like the straight out of Nico Bellic, like straight out of GTA 4. So one day he just thought it would be funny to make fun of my hairline. So he just said, "Whoa, look at your hairline." Yeah, that's how he sounded. yeah, Nico Bellic, take that, nub. Alright, so, anyway, so he started just bullying me and all that, and keep in mind, this is supposed to be a serious video, but I'm just trying to make you guys laugh. But out of all seriousness, his video is meant to be a bit edgy, so please do not call me a little edgy preteen in the comments. But anyway, he just made a freaking comment about my hairdo, whatnot, and I told him his freaking hair looks like the bottom half of a Twinkie. Like it looks like a Twinkie after you took a bite of it. So anyway, I told him that. He got mad, whatnot. We went to lunch, right? Nothing really happened that day, so I was like, alright then, I guess this kid will leave me alone, considering I insulted him back. The other day, he decided it would be a good idea to insult me again. So we were in science class, and you know what? We had to go sit at the same table because we didn't finish our work in time. So they made us sit at this one table where all the kids that didn't finish their work in time, they had to finish their work while everybody colored and talked and had a good time. So we were doing that, and me and my friends were over there. I think 3 of them, and we were just doing our work. And then all of a sudden, they're all talking and all that. And then the kids thought it would be a good idea to make fun of me, and the other kid told 2 of the other kids, "Hey, I'm trying to work here. Can you take it down a notch?" And so they started to be rude to that person, and then they started to be rude to me. I don't know why. I guess they didn't like me. So I defended myself. I told him he has a freaking hairdo. It looks like straight out of freaking GTA 4 with Nico Bellic. We started insulting each other and all that. And then he just finally thought it would be the bigger decision. He'll be the bigger man and about it, the bigger person about it, and go up to me and just push me while I'm just trying to sit down. And keep in mind, I was sitting down, so he thought that was like the most freaking epic. Like he thought like he should be the freaking WWE by now. Like frick John Cena put me in there. So I'm like, okay, Lunchenberg, if you want, alright, this Lunchenberg's trying to push me, I might as well push him back. I did, but the thing is, I didn't even try to push him, and he just tried to push me, and he said, "I'll freaking fight you, I'm not scared of you." And he's all saying that, and while we're insulting each other and bullcrap, you know what the teachers are doing? Oh, they're too busy talking about Starbucks. So, and we just started. We didn't really fight, so it's not like one of those intense freaking fights out of the freaking Matrix. So keep that in mind before you comment how intense the fight was. So he pushed me, and then he said, "I don't care how big you are." And keep in mind, I'm normal size, so I'm not the freaking amazing Hulk over here, dude. So anyway, we just pushed. He pushed me again. One kid and one of my friends said, "Dude, leave him alone." And then he just kept pushing me and blah blah blah. And then one teacher was in there, and then he said, "Stop it." He yelled at both of us. And then keep in mind, that was the teacher that yelled at me for getting on a freaking computer. And the thing is that the 2 teachers finally butted in when they should have butted it in a long time ago. But they were too busy talking. So we had to go. So both of us got in trouble, but I think I got the worst treatment, because as soon as that guy yelled at us, he started to freaking cry like a freaking little 2-year-old who got his toy broken in a freaking Walmart store. And while I'm over here like, okay then. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna get back to work and let this freaking little crybaby cry all he freaking wants. He'll be like the freaking boy who cried wolf, but instead it's gonna be the little boy who cried about a kid standing up to him. And the kid was an athlete, so you would expect more toughness from him. You would expect alright, I'm coming back for you. Don't you forget it. Something like that. But he does instead? So he started crying to the teacher, telling me that I was bullying him and I was talking about him. And the thing is, I wasn't. I was trying to do my freaking work, and he's all over here like crying and bullcrap. So he called me over there and went over there, and he says, if I see you fighting again, I will send you to the office. And I told him, okay. And he told both of us, do you understand? He just like treated the kid like, okay, poor you, Nico Bellic hairdo, and you Mr. McMeme 9000, you should be freaking in prison by now. Frick you, man. All right, so as soon as that whole can of worms got cleaned up, we decided to go back to work. He looked at me all freaking mean. I'm like, the frick you looking at? And then he says, he's talking about me again. So I had to go out in the hallway. The guy yelled at me a freaking again. And I'm like, okay, dude, literally, I didn't do anything. If anything, he was freaking talking about me and looking at me like freaking Chucky over here. So as soon as we got back, he was looking at me like an angry freaking Drake. Like, he looked like the angry version of Drake. And I just didn't pay attention to him. I just did my work and got the frick out of there because frick Nico Bella hairdo. And later in the day, we had to go to this history teacher's class. Now let me tell you, I mentioned this guy in one of my videos. You may know him. His name is Captain Crunch. That's what my nickname for the guy is. So he was my old history teacher. I always had the guy at the end of the day before our elective started. So keep in mind that I don't know if he didn't have lunch or not, or if he didn't, like, if somebody just peed in his freaking cereal. I don't know. The guy always had a chip on his shoulder. Like, every single day I would hear him yelling at everybody like a freaking drill sergeant. So that's why I call him Captain Crunch. So anyway, I went into the class because, I have to, because history is a mandatory subject, and plus history is one of my favorite subjects, and this guy probably ruined history for me. And now keep in mind that on the first day of school, they call this like secret code, like this code for all kinds of classes. I'm not going to say any code, but I'm going to give an example. 101, come on. So he said, 101. And so I'm like over here like, what's that mean? Is this guy like doing math equations or something? So me and my friend thought it was nothing. We just thought he was screaming math answers. We're screaming nuclear bomb codes. We don't know what that code name meant. So we thought it was nothing. So we just kept eating, enjoy our lunch, and talking with each other about the school and our first day there. And keep in mind, I actually made a lot of friends there, like more than my old school I ever did. I felt like I fitted in more over there than I did at my old school. It was just most of the teachers and bull crap or buttholes to me, and every single teacher, even the two principals, were holding a grudge against me. Only like 3 teachers weren't holding a grudge against me. They actually said I was a real good student and yada yada yada. I have very good grades, above yada 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 yada. So anyway, I seen our class going. We had to throw our lunch away and everything because we didn't know what the code name meant. And it seemed that we were late to his class. So he said, "Why are you both late to my class?" My friend was speechless. Like, he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to be late to a class on my first day of school." I'm like, gosh, freaking dang it! I should have followed the nuclear bomb code. So anyway, I just said, well, because we're new to this school, we didn't know what that code name meant. And he's like, all right, you better get in there right now. And he said it like very like I don't know, very intimidating. Like, oh crap, dude, we gotta get in there before he freaking put us in boot camp or something. So we did it. We went in there. You know what he does? Starts yelling. So he's like, blah 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 blah. Like he always just constantly yelled like a drill sergeant. Even if he weren't yelling at people, he would yell at people. Like it was just like a normal thing for him. Like, can you imagine him at the the freaking dinner table? Like he's telling his wife, "All right, pass me the freaking mustard." What? Pass me the mustard. Like I don't know, but that guy, he was just like irritating, and also he just yelled at everybody for no apparent reason at all. Like it's just stupid, and he just kept yelling. He was freaking intimidating, and I never liked the guy, but I had to go to his class every day. And the thing is, he had everybody freaking brainwashed. Like he made everybody think that he was the best teacher ever. Like, and if he would ever say that he's always yelling and he's not nice, they would just say, "Oh, it's just because he has a passion for teaching." And I'm like, are you stupid or something? Like, are you mentally dumb? Because I'm pretty sure if you have a passion for teaching, you wouldn't yell at little middle schoolers on a daily basis. That's like freaking emotional abuse right there. And well, really, he just yelled at us like a freaking drill sergeant every single day, and it was irritating. But I think, to me, like, he didn't like me the most because he just didn't like me. I don't know why. I guess it's because I don't know. Maybe it's because I wasn't the one to believe his stupid lies. So anyway, I didn't say anything to him or anything, but here's the thing that got me in trouble, like the worst trouble ever that got me out of that class, but I still went to that school, just in a different class with a different history teacher. So, anyway, one day, I guess me and what the heck we're gonna call this kid? Oh yeah, I remember, we called him, what the heck did we call him? Oh yeah, Nico Bella Caradu. So Nico Bella Caradu sat by me in that class. Okay, look, we didn't choose to sit by each other. Okay, we had assigned seats. Okay, I was planning to sit by some of my friends, but you know, assigned seating. So we went into assigned seats, and I had to sit right by him, and I had another friend right by me, but. And, anywho, we had to sit by each other. It was assigned seating, and then all of a sudden, I didn't know the answer to something. So instead of him helping me, he tells a kid to tell me the answer, and he told me to ask the kid for the answer. And then I'm over here like, okay, is this dude serious? Does he not know what happened today? Like, is this dude actually serious? And then I didn't even say anything to him, and he didn't say anything to me. And then we just both awkwardly stared at each other. I didn't say anything at all, and he's like, "You know what? Go in the hallway right now." So I went in the hallway. What a severe punishment. And went to the hallway. Blah 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 blah. And then he just like he didn't even like tell the other kid to go out in the hallway too, cause the kid didn't even tell me anything either. But all of a sudden he is gonna send me out in the hallway. Oh wait, I forgot. He's one of his athletes. So here's how it goes, guys. He was a history teacher and also a coach. Yes, we had that kind of school. And he was both a history teacher and a coach. So he was one of his athletes, that kid. And what I'm thinking is that kid went to go cry to him that he doesn't like me and get him in trouble any way you can. So he has more power considering he's an adult and a teacher, and he has way more authority than a kid would ever have. So he sent me down in the hallway. He started yelling at me like a freaking drill sergeant, very intimidating. And then all of a sudden, He goes back to his classroom, shuts the freaking door, and my backpack was in there. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what they're gonna do with my backpack, but if I come home with a ripped up backpack, my parents are probably gonna form a lawsuit against this school. So as soon as I was just standing there in the hallway looking into the wall like, okay, what am I doing? I'm just listening to some guy yell. So I one day I just decided that, okay, then I'm just gonna sit on the floor considering I don't have anywhere to sit. So I waited patiently for him to do some more yelling at me. And then he's like, "Are you gonna come back to class and communicate?" And I told him, "Well, I don't want to speak to, I don't want to speak to Nico Bella Caradu." And then he's all like, yeah, well, you have to. You have to learn how to work with people you don't like." And I'm like, we just had a fight today. We just got in a fight in science class. And he's like, "I don't care what beef you guys have or whatnot. You have to go back in that classroom and ask him that question." And I'm like, well, he doesn't like me and I don't like him and I don't wanna communicate with him at all. Can you just please move me away from him? I'd rather sit by someone else and ask them for the answer than him. And I just do not want to speak to him right now. And I'd rather much just have you move me somewhere else. And that's all he could have simply done, is just move me somewhere else. But he made a huge deal out of it, as if like it was like a life-threatening situation for him to move me to another seat. And then he started yelling at me once more. Then he just got a green chair and freaking threw it like towards me. Like he didn't like actually throw it like at me, but he came out like the freaking amazing Hulk and just threw it real loud on the ground. And he started yelling at me saying, "Well, if you don't want to be by anybody today, if you don't want to be social and you don't want to talk to anybody, you stay out here." And then he shut the door like as if like he was like running from somebody. And then he says, "I'm gonna take you down to the office when class is over." So I had to put my head down while he was teaching them some stuff. And while I could have been learning, I was out there. And he keep in mind that he put me out there. And people said that he had a passion for learning. I'm pretty sure if you had a passion for teaching, you wouldn't put a kid out in a hallway, yell at him, and then say, "I'm going to take you down to the office," and not even make the kid learn anything at all. And keep in mind, he didn't even give me any work to do. So I just just sat there with my head down and I didn't know what to do. So as soon as class was over, all my friends were asking me, "Dude, you got in trouble?" And I'm like, yeah. And then they walked to their class, and then he's like, "All right, come on." He got my backpack. And keep in mind, it's like a kid backpack, so he looked weird while putting it on his freaking shoulder. And I'm like, "Okay, dude, that's my backpack. Give it back." I didn't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, this dude is now putting my backpack on his shoulder. What is this? So I had to wait in the office, and then I guess my dad was coming in to get me for an appointment, and through the window he saw that guy yelling at me. Okay, so here's how he yelled at me in the office as well. So he started yelling at me in the office because he asked me, "Why are you in here? Why are you in trouble?" I just sighed. I didn't say anything. And I had the right not to say anything. I had the freaking right. You know that one saying, you have the right to remain silent? Well, at that time I had the freaking right to remain silent. And this wasn't like the freaking juvenile hall or anything. This was school. But I didn't have to say anything to him. I didn't have to say crap to him. And he started yelling at me because I sighed. And I'm like, okay, dude, do you not want me to breathe? And I just sighed. I mean, come on. Why wouldn't I sigh? I'm in trouble, barely in my third year. I'm barely coming into my first. I don't know if it was like the second week of school. I'm not sure, but I was barely. I was barely like start. I just barely started school, and this guy yelled at me and everything. And so I thought, well, okay then. I guess I just let him yell at me like a drill sergeant. And he's like, so let's try again. Why are you in here? And I said, well, apparently I'm in trouble. And he's like, are you calling me a liar? And I'm like, no, I am not calling you a liar. I said it firmly too. I told him, I am not calling you a liar. If you would look up, apparently, on Google, it doesn't mean you're calling anybody a liar. The term apparently doesn't equal to you calling somebody a liar. So I don't get how that guy is teaching history but doesn't even know his grammar. I mean, plus apparently doesn't mean liar, but in a different form of terms. So as soon as he was done yelling at me, my dad came in, cause he seen him yelling at me through the window. He came to pick me up for an appointment, and as soon as that happened, then he's like, okay, there's your dad right now. We can go settle this right now. He walked over there like he was freaking like ready for anything, and then when he see my dad, he's like, okay. My dad said, what's with all this intimidation? It's because you can literally hear him from the window yelling. And because that's how like loud he was yelling at me. And then he's like, blah, 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 blah. I wasn't intimidating him. And I caught him right on the spot. I told him, then what was that chair you almost threw at me in the hallway? And you threw it on the floor real loud. He just stand there silent. And that's how everything else started, because that kid probably didn't like me, and that stupid teacher did not like me either. Now, here's the part where the teacher really ruined it. This is my freaking math teacher. Now, this teacher was probably one of the worst math teachers I ever had, and it's probably why I do not freaking like math at all. So, I mean, I like math for only one reason, that is coding, but he just like made me not like math for any other reason anymore. So here's how it goes. We're not going to call this guy by his real name, so we're just going to call him math teacher. So math teacher was basically a madman. So the guy, like, he would keep us during lunch if we got an answer wrong. Like if we didn't complete a quiz in time, or if we didn't complete anything else in time. And keep in mind, I'm not very good at math, and he even knew it. People, my parents, teachers told him that, even though like the school told him that I am not great at math, but he didn't care. He timed us anyway. So he timed us, and before lunch, he would time us on a quiz to see how much we would get, and then we handed him our quiz and everything, like when he said the timer to stop. And if we didn't get an answer right or whatnot, or if we didn't complete it in time, he would keep us out during freaking lunch, during one of our only free times. Because keep in mind, it's middle school or junior high, however you like to call it. They're both the same. And that's really our only free time during the day. And while everybody's having a blast talking to each other and whatnot during their only free time, I'm over there doing a freaking math sheet. And I'm like, I'm just like disappointed. I'm like, dude, I barely just started weeks ago, and you're already trying to make me do tons of homework. I mean, come on, dude, give me a break. And one time he just kept me and my friend, Killer Biggerhead, if you know him from my old videos or even my new videos to be exact. I linked his channel in the description. Even he comments on my videos. So yeah, that's my friend in real life too. So we just had to work with our very exotic macaroni lunch in the room and everything, and kept us working in there. And I'm over here like, why is he doing this? Why? He kept us during lunch. And now here's the other part. So he kept kids after class too. Like if everybody were going to their electives, even some kids having to go home because we had half days on Fridays. And when some kids were going home, he would keep some kids after class. And in my opinion, that's freaking weird. Because you're keeping kids after class when they're supposed to go home. And without their parents' permission, nor the knowledge of parents knowing that their kids are in your classroom, that's pretty freaking sketchy, dude. So, it seems that I was always his target as well. Like, there was other kids that he did not like either, but I was one of his number one kids on his list that he didn't like. I was on his freaking crap list. And he was holding a grudge against me as well. I don't know why. Maybe it's because 3 of the guys that do not like me, that are all teachers, they're all freaking friends. Like, they always talk good to each other. They're all friends and everything. They're like a freaking cult. Like, I'm being serious. Like, those people are like a freaking cult. If you don't believe any of their lies or anything like that, they will freaking ruin everything for you. Then that's what he did. So one day I'm just doing my work, alright? And that kid that said that I was a liar, remember that kid? Well, I didn't have a pencil. I lost mine, so I didn't have anything to work with. And he told me, why aren't you working, meme? And then I'm like, because I don't have a pencil. And then he started getting mad at me, said, oh, well, to school you should have a pencil. There's pencils everywhere. And I'm like, there's literally no pencils on the ground because you're too sensitive about your floor being clean before we leave. And the kid passed me a pencil and I took it. And the thing was, the freaking pencil was broken. Like, it didn't have any lead or anything in it. Like, it didn't have any ink. Like, I couldn't even write with it. And I told the kid, dude, your pencil's broken. I said, okay, we're gonna call this kid, for convenience, kid who gave me pencil. So I told kid who gave me pencil, dude, your pencil is broken. And then he said, no, it's not. And then I showed him the pencil, and he got it back from me. And then he's like, okay, babe, you stay after class. And I'm like, what? And I'm over here like, okay, I just told him that I asked him, why do I have to stay after class? And then he's like, because you disrupted a student. You were distracting a student is what he said. And I'm like over here like, no, he passed me a pencil and it was broken. I told him that his pencil was broken. I didn't want to keep a broken pencil. You know what? He kept me after class anyway. And you know what? And while everybody was leaving, he told me and that kid to stay behind. And he told me, oh, right then, I won't keep you after class for that. And then, as soon as that happened, I was putting my binder away. He told me and that kid to stay behind after class. So, as soon as that happened, I asked him why do I have to be here after class, and he's like, sit down, follow my directions. Like, he was yelling at me too. And I'm over here like, well, what the heck am I in here for? I told him, why am I in here for? And that stupid kid told me, because you distracted me. And I told him, no, I didn't. I was telling him that your stupid pencil was broken. And you know what? He said, I'm not keeping you after that because of that. He said it because I'm not getting my work done. I'm just writing answers down. Well, what does he freaking expect from me? all the math we're doing is college math and it's super hard, and I don't get most of the math because it's just super freaking hard. And he expects me to complete it within a second, and which I cannot do. And he's just all yelling at me and bullcrap and like telling me all this bullcrap. And I had to stay after class, and keep in mind that he didn't even tell my other elective teacher that was also my first class teacher that I wasn't in there, because I had that first class teacher an elective, and the teacher was a good teacher. He taught history real good. It wasn't the guy I was talking about, but considering I switched classes, my first teacher was a history teacher, and yeah. So the guy went in and said, "Is this now coming to class?" And then he kept saying that, and I'm like over here like, okay, like, I don't know. I didn't know what's going on, but I think this guy knew something. Like, I'm not trying to be a freaking conspiracy theorist over here, but I feel like that guy knew that they were holding a grudge against me, and I respect him for that. And so he kept getting mad at my first class teacher, and then he's like, "Stop interrupting my class." And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, this is not class. This is unlimited torture. And then I got in trouble once again, and then he just gave me I didn't say that like this is unlimited torture, but I just kept asking him why I wasn't. I asked him why was I in here, and then well, that was before like everything else, and he's like, "What? Well, you weren't following my directions, blah 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 blah. That's why you're in here again." And then after that, everybody was leaving, going to their other class. Well, I was the last one, and then you know what he did? He gave me a huge lecture about working. Okay, to be honest, the math teacher creeped me the heck out. I'm not trying to bring in some other bullcrap, but I had a dream that this guy was like a creep. And I think it's true. Like, my dream was trying to freaking tell me something that, hey, don't trust this guy, he's a creep. And the guy is a creep. I am saying that. Like, that's my testify, and like that's my statement, and that's my allegations, and my personal opinion and my allegations say that he was a creep. The guy creeped me out and made me uncomfortable most of the time, and I never liked that. He gave my mom and dad a very uneasy feeling. Like, you knew this guy was like freaking creepy. At first we just thought that this guy was either over nice or just like that, but he was a creep. I'm just stating my allegations. I'm not trying to say like anything else, but this guy, he was like super mean to me, always yelling at me, always lecturing me, and I got tired of it, and I told my mom and dad like after school, and they took care of it. And eventually I had to get withdrawn from that school because that school was planning to kick me out. They knew it. The teacher even knew that they were holding. My only good teachers knew that they were holding a grudge against me. That's why he kept checking in on me. And that's why that's what this video is mainly about, is that I'm trying to get the word out there that they basically chased me out of that school and everything else. I had a lot of friends there. I had good grades in all my classes. It's just that one math teacher that ruined everything for me. Like, as soon as I got in his class, it was like, okay, it's boot camp time. And as soon as I got into his class, it's just, man, keep in mind that his class was also boring. But I'm not going to bring that into context, but he wasn't a great teacher. Like, he never would make us understand the material or nothing like that. He never even helped me. And he claimed that he tried to help me, but I wouldn't listen. And that's the most biggest load of bullcrap I've ever heard in my whole entire existence on planet Earth. He never tried to teach me. He never tried to help me. All he did was lecture me and just gave me a freaking uneasy feeling. I may make an update to this video. I'm not sure, but I hope you guys understand and everything. And keep in mind, I'm still going to school. I'm going to school as we speak right now. So don't think I'm not going to school. I am. So yeah, and that's really all I had to say for this video. Thank you guys so much for understanding. And please don't put any drama in the comments. And please don't go witch hunting these people. I didn't even mention their names, so I'm pretty sure that you can't even go witch hunting them. And for all the friends in real life that been wondering where I have been, well, you got your answer. And just, I hope you guys stay safe out there and everything. I like to thank you guys so much for watching and like for 22 subscribers and all the support you guys been giving me lately. And I hope to see you in the next video. And always remember to take your anti-normie medicine.